Is this thing on? Hello? Is this thing on? Okay. Well, this is Vicariously Vintage. Thanks for watching. Enjoy! Oh, look at that. I'm shedding.
Hey guys, I thought I would bring you back to Vicariously Vintage Acres and on our journey to making homemade garlic powder. We like to buy our garlic peeled already in the 3-pound bags from Sam's. You want to hold that up for me please, Tris? This is what we get, and for the amount that we're doing, we just get that and it saves us a lot of time. And if my son moves the bag back to where it was, you can see that the only prep work that we really need to do to get these prepared for the food processor is to cut the blossom ends off. And as he does that, he puts them into the processor bowl. And as he does that, he puts them into the processor bowl. Life with teenagers. So we're just gonna keep working on this 3-pound bag. He's gonna cut the ends off, and once the processor bowl is about half full or so, I'll bring you back and we will get that blended up and ready for the dehydrator. Hey guys, we've got the processor base. It's a little over half full, but there was only about a handful and a half or so left, so I figured we'd just go ahead and get those dealt with. So it's going to get noisy for a moment, but I'm going to put this on and get it processed until it looks about like this. Chunky, fairly uniform. It's not going to be exact, it's not going to be perfect, and that's perfectly okay. So we're going to start by pressing it a couple of times. And then we're going to go into the blend mode. Now I have a Ninja system, so this works a little bit faster than a regular, say, Oster blender or something, but it's not quite as fast as a Vitamix. So you'll just have to stop it every so often and see what it looks like. And I like to get in here and scrape the sides down. Sometimes you get some of the big chunks stuck up on the sides. So just do it for, depending on what machine you have, say 5 to 20 seconds at a time, at the absolute most. Okay, so I just hit that for about 10 seconds. We're going to take a look. This is a little bit fuller than my first batch that I ran through this was. That was so grammatically incorrect. But I'm sure you know what I mean. We're going to hit this just for a few more seconds real quick. One of the reasons why I chose my Ninja blender is this came with a blender, a processor, smoothie cups, a mini chopper. It's considerably less expensive than the Vitamix, but I knew that I needed something that offered a little more oomph for what I do in the kitchen. So I'm going to show you what this looks like, and I'm fairly pleased with that grind. And I pulled out this bowl here. This bowl is wider than the opening to my processor. So we're just going to scrape some out. We're going to be careful not to let the blade fall out because that will make an atrocious mess. So just to show you what I'm doing real quick, I have my trays, and I've already started this one, so I'm going to put this one aside and show you fresh. Now I have cut parchment paper to fit these. If you have the fruit roll-up trays, you can use that as well. So basically you just want to get your garlic on your trays and get it smoothed out, no thicker than 1/4 of an inch. There doesn't have to be space in between it. It will dry absolutely perfectly fine. So what I'm going to do is just keep putting the minced up garlic onto these trays, and we'll be back soon to finish this up for you, and so you can see how we get it drying, and then we'll have to come back again after that once it's dry to finish processing. So I'm going to finish getting this out of the processor, filling up the trays, and we'll be right back. Okay guys, so I have 4 trays full of the minced garlic from my Ninja food processor, and I wanted to tell you a few things before I get this set up and going. First of all, it should take probably until tomorrow to get it as dry as I would like it. You really can't over dry garlic. Second of all, this goes outside. Which brings me to my third point of why am I not using the Excalibur that I am always bragging about? Well, I use an older one because I do put it outside. Garlic will make your house smell atrocious and you will never get that smell out of your house. So I use an older one just in case anything were to happen. I don't have to worry about the humidity outside. I don't have to worry about the wind or the animals because this is an older, like $30. I don't even think I paid $30 for it. It is a Nesco by American Harvest food dehydrator. It has a fan, but it does not have temperature settings. It works just fine for us though for this particular application. I use it for garlic. I use it as a backup. As a matter of fact, I just dealt with 109 ears of corn, and I was running both this and my Excalibur to dry some of the corn husks for the rabbits for winter greens. So I am going to take this outside to my porch. I'm going to get it plugged up, and we will be back probably tomorrow and finish up processing and turning this into garlic powder. See you tomorrow. Hey guys, we are back, and it did take overnight to get the garlic, the minced garlic, dried, and it's very crispy, so that is a really good sign. Some of it did turn out a little bit dark. That usually happens to me, and that's okay. Once you get it run through the grinder, then it's just going to be normal garlic powder or garlic granules. I bought from a thrift store for $3 a coffee grinder, and I have labeled it herbs and spices only. If you've never had garlic flavored coffee, I don't recommend it. I've never had it personally, but I really don't want to. So whatever coffee grinder you have, you need to make sure that you are only using it to run spices through. Now, I have run my dehydrated broth through this same one. Anything that is savory or pungent goes through this one, and I have a separate coffee grinder, completely different brand, so that there is absolutely zero chance that we will get them mixed up. So my little $3 coffee grinder, what we're going to do is just start taking little bits of this and crumbling it up a little bit into the grinder. I mean, you really can stick a whole piece like that in there, but I find you can fit more in there if you just break it up a little bit more. Now, I've also stuck this in there before. If you get accustomed to doing this, you can do that without overflowing your coffee grinder, or in this case, spice grinder. So I've got it as full as it'll handle, and this will take several batches, but I find that this works considerably better than using a food processor or a blender, keeping in mind that I don't have a Vitamix, so that might work really well for you. Before I got this, I was running it through the food processor, and I was sifting it out, and I was using the flakes that were left for certain applications and using the smaller granules and powder for other things. So this will get noisy for just a moment, but I'm going to show you how we do this. Okay, after we have ground it up, I don't know if you can see on the video the plume of smoke, so to speak, that's in there. but you don't want to open that right away because you will inhale that garlic and it's not pleasant. That I have tried, unfortunately. Okay, so I pulled out a jar and I prefer to use glass. If you followed me for any amount of time on my blog, you know I prefer stainless steel and glass for as many applications as possible. Now that this is sat for a moment, we're not going to press the button like that. Take the lid off. Now you can stick a plate or a piece of paper or something underneath this if you want. You can see, I hope you can see all the puffs of garlic wafting up. Anyway, so we're just going to pour that in there. And we're going to keep doing it and just keep doing it. And I will be back when this is finished to let you know my later steps. See you soon. Okay guys, we are wrapped up. I have my last batch in my grinder. So I'm going to go and pour that in so that you can see what I do from here. I have another jar that is actually labeled garlic powder. All I'm doing is tapping the rest of the powders out of my grinder lid, and I'll do that with my grinder as well. But I have a pint jar that is labeled from my brother labeler with the thermal tape, I think is what it's called. It's basically a heat resistant tape so it can go straight through the dishwasher and stay on the jar. I can't find that jar right now though. We've got jars in 100 different places, so for now I have it in this really cool jar. But I am going to tap the garlic out. Now I did go back and put a piece of parchment paper down to catch the garlic powder, and you can see, you know, there's a decent amount, enough to season a piece of chicken or something. As I always say, waste not, want not. Hope you've enjoyed this tutorial on making your own garlic granules / powder, and have a blessed day. Apparently I'm full of interjections on this video this time. I found my pint jar right after I finished up the video, and I have poured the garlic powder into this. I don't remember if the bag of garlic was 2 or 3 pounds, but you can see that it has filled my pint jar to the tippy top, and it's pretty packed in there. It's not changing the volume in there. So we're just going to throw a lid on that. I want to say that, and I'll correct this if I go back and find out that I'm wrong, but I want to say that that bag of garlic was $8 to $9. Now if you go to Walmart and you buy a fairly good or decent quality garlic powder, it's going to run you at least $3 for those little 2 and 3, maybe 5 ounce bottles. I don't remember. It's been a while. So compare the cost, even including the electricity that you use for your dehydrator, which is so minimal because they are not high energy sucking products, and you have a great deal. You know what's in your garlic powder. You don't have to worry about fillers. Excuse me, garlic. So this just is what works for our family, not to mention the taste. You are going to be blown away by the taste of your amazing homemade garlic powder. Okay, so for real, have a great day.